ladies and gentlemen, how to make mashed potatoes. You're going to need, I'm using 4 pounds of potatoes diced. I got a medium dice on that. I have a cup of, I'm going to use heavy cream, but you can use milk, and I have 4 tablespoons of butter. The one thing I do want to tell you about is when you are boiling potatoes, you don't need that much water. You need just enough water to cover the top of those potatoes. I see people filling it right up. You don't need to do that. Just cover the top of your potatoes, make sure they're submerged. And I use a lot of salt in the water. I like it to be like salty seawater because this is the only time you get to flavor your potatoes. You can also, sometimes I throw dill in there. Sometimes I'll put some garlic. It just depends on the flavor I'm going for. What we're going to do is boil this until they become fork tender. Alright, so the potatoes have cooked. I've drained them out. The next thing that you can do is put your butter in. Some people like to warm the cream and butter before they put it in and melt that butter into the cream. I am not going to do that. The one thing I do want to mention is that not all potatoes are created equal. If you're going to make a mashed potato, I recommend using a yellow potato. They're just better. It's the starch level in them. If you have to choose a second, it would be a russet potato. Today I got stuck with the russet potato because living in a small town, those are my options. Russet or russet. The store was out of yellow potatoes. If you're going to use a mixer, use a mixer. If you're going to mash it by hand, make sure you don't cut the potatoes smaller than your masher. Okay, we're just going to mash this and then whip it until it's smooth. Could I use a mixer? Yes, I just prefer to do it by hand. All right. Once they are at this point, you can actually go ahead and serve them. I am going to use this on a shepherd's pie as a topping. So I'm actually going to whip an egg into that because it's actually going back into the oven. I'll just show you how to do that. You just plop your egg in there. You want to go quick. That way your yolk doesn't cook. Okay. If you're going to serve these just to eat them, don't put the egg in. This is just because it's going on top of a shepherd's pie. And that is how you make mashed potatoes.